Hey, I'm Patrick Ross, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Lulu.
And today we're talking about Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Now, this is a collaborative board game that you play with a friend. For instance, your girlfriend, a roommate, people that you see regularly. And it's also a strategy game. You think about what you're doing, working together, talking it out, reasoning about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, so as it says in the name, Pandemic Legacy, it's a legacy game, which means that you play the game over again, basically the same game, but the decisions you make in one play affect the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And then it is within the Pandemic franchise, let's say. So if you have played like the basic Pandemic game, it's going to be a lot easier to pick this game up. But if you haven't, it's totally fine. I hadn't really played Pandemic before.
I played it a lot.
Yeah, Lulu was more experienced. But when we started playing together, I was really easily able to figure out what's going on, how to play the game. So you don't need to play the other games in the Pandemic franchise to enjoy this one.
Yeah, so this game is best for either two to four players, but as Patrick said earlier, you kind of have to play with the same people every time. Yeah. So we played the game with 2 players. It worked out great. Don't really feel like you needed more.
Nope.
And it's organized into 12 months. And so each playthrough, if you win, you move on to the next month. If you don't, you can replay that month.
For sure. So with that overarching theme in mind, let's talk about some of the pros of this game, some of the cons of this game, and then maybe some reasons why you should or should not buy Pandemic Legacy Season 1. So for the pros, I think the first pro of this game is that it's a strategic game. You know, you have to think a little bit each turn.
Yeah. Patrick Ross likes that.
I do like feeling like I'm smart, and this game kind of gave me that ability to be like, I came up with a good move. But in all seriousness, I think what's really cool is that you can customize your character. When you make decisions in 1 month, just like Lulu was mentioning, it affects what happens the next month. So you're going to want to think strategically about, hey, like what abilities do I want to give my character so that they are going to be able to accomplish whatever we need to in the next playthrough.
Yeah, another great thing about it is it's not super hard. It's not super easy, at least for us. I mean, we play board games quite a bit. We're not like by any means the most advanced board game players. We're kind of casual board game players, you know.
For sure.
And so for us, it was kind of the right balance of it was hard enough that we really had to think about our strategy. We had to adjust our strategy. But it wasn't so hard that we just lost immediately and then we just wasted all this money on an expensive game.
It's a challenging game. You'll lose some, you'll win some, and that's what makes it so exciting. And that kind of leads us to our third pro, which was, I think we played this game, it took us 16 playthroughs to finally beat this campaign. And at the end of those 16, I was ready to play like 16 more. I had so much fun playing this game with Lulu. It is very enjoyable. You know, you're talking strategies out. There's so much that's going on. I think the plot really pulls you in. So it's like a fun game. I think it's just the enjoyment you get out of playing it is really, I think, a pro.
Yeah, we were really disappointed we couldn't reset the game and play it again.
Yeah, for sure. So with those, I think you should, like if you're looking at this video, you should know Pandemic Legacy, very highly regarded game, very popular. That said, there are a few cons. Lulu, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the main con for me is that this game took forever to set up.
Yeah.
Like, we would kind of argue about whose turn it was to set the game up.
Facts.
Yeah. So, it takes a long time. I mean, it's like a full, this is going to sound petty, but it's like a full 10-minute setup. And you got to, like, sit down, put all the pieces out. Yeah. It takes a little bit of time.
It takes, 10, 15 minutes, but the real part of the setup is just, it's a pain. Like, there's so many bits and bobs. You have to shuffle all these different decks, you put everything together. So, like, I hate it.
And you got to go through the entire rule book again. Because there's so many rules you got to, like, and set up based on this specific series of rules. It takes a while to go through that.
So, it's like, once you set it up, it almost seems like it's not a good use of your time to only play one round of the game. Like you'd rather play 2 months or 2 rounds, each one taking maybe about an hour to really justify just the amount of time it takes to get this game up and running. So this setup, I thought was a pain.
Yeah, it was definitely a pain. And that kind of rolls into our second con was that there are a lot of rules.
A lot of rules. And the rules change. So the rules you have 1 month, they'll add in new ones for the next month.
Yeah. Every month there's a new rule, and you got to remember all the old rules. And they have some little cheat cards, but you really do have to read the rule book every time you play.
Yeah, I think the whole time we were playing, Lulu was like making decision stuff, and I just had the rule book open. Was like, you know, we have to do this, we have to do that. So I don't know if you like keeping up with the rules, if you're someone who's like good at that, it might be easier for you. But for us, I thought the rules were.
There were a lot.
It was a con.
There were
a
a
con.
lot of rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were somebody who you don't have time to read the manual, this ain't it.
And then the third con, I know I mentioned before that like I enjoyed the plot, and I did enjoy the plot. The setting is kind of, if you're not familiar, there's a disease that's spreading out, outbreaking all across the globe, and you need to travel to different continents to try to eradicate these diseases. So that was very cool. I thought the game really brought together that setting with the actual game mechanics. That said, the storyline that is featured in Pandemic Legacy is...
It's a little predictable.
It's predictable. Like, I think Lulu, we were playing through 1 month, and she's like, I think this is what's going to happen at the end of the next month.
It did.
It happened.
It did. It was still very enjoyable to play, though.
Yeah.
Like, the mechanics of the game were still really good, even though you're like, yeah, I kind of think that this is what's going to happen. The main plot point of the game, we were able to figure it out kind of a couple months ahead. So that was kind of a bummer, but it still was really...
Yeah.
It's still a good plot. It's still fun.
Yeah. So, with those pros and cons in mind, I think we just want to give you maybe a few takeaways. Right now, this game is about $55 on Amazon. And you'll play it maybe, let's say, 16 times, an hour each time. So what do you think? What is who would want to buy this game?
Yeah, this game I felt like was really great for if you love to play games and you have a close friend or a partner who also likes to play games. I feel like this is for you.
Yep.
Especially one who's as competitive.
Yeah. If you both like to win or lose together, it's definitely a good place.
Yeah, it was really fun to be working together for a game, and this is the first collaborative game, the first Legacy game that we played together, and it was really great.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of the game.
One practical thing to keep in mind is you're gonna need someone to be around to do like this game, and you need the same people every time. So if you have a roommate, you're in a relationship, you have a group of friends that you meet regularly, you're gonna need that. You can't just buy this game by yourself and assume that you're gonna be able to hook people into it.
Yeah, you kind of have to play through with the same people every time. Yeah. There's not really an option to kind of have one friend come in and come out.
So if you have that set up, I think this would be a great game to buy.
And you have friends who are patient and want to play an hour, 30-minute game through 12 to 20 times.
So that sort of suggests who should not buy this game.
Yeah, if you're an impatient player and you just want to throw a game down and play for fun with a changing group of friends or a bigger group of friends.
Yeah. This game is it's not a drinking game. It's not like a just for fun game. It takes itself seriously. It's not Cards Against Humanity. It's not goofy. It's not laugh out loud. It's
a strategy game.
It's not like wow, I'm having such a good time with these people. I'm meeting new people playing the game. It's I already know my friends and we're working together to beat this game.
Yeah. It's not your intro board game.
Exactly. But that's...
You gotta have to be into it, the board game life before you...
Yeah, but that's I wasn't really a big board game person, and I really enjoyed this game. Lulu is more of a board game aficionado, let's say.
And we still both really liked it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do recommend it. I enjoyed it a lot. We actually went off and bought Pandemic Legacy Season 2, review coming soon. So yeah, I would recommend it. What are your final thoughts, Lulu?
Yeah, I would really recommend this game to anybody who has a close friend or a partner who they like to play games with. I thought this was great, and I was really sad when it was over.
Yeah. All right. So with that, it's Patrick Ross.
And Lulu.
We're signing out.
Bye.
Peace.